Good morning and welcome to a very grey and cloudy start here to the day at London's Heathrow. Guys, today we'll be flying with Air France in their business class through to Paris. It's going to be aboard their new Airbus A220, so I'm really looking forward to getting on board such a new aircraft and trying out a business class experience on board. So in the next scene we'll get checked in and then we'll get on our way through to Paris. Air France utilise Heathrow's Terminal 4. It's a shared facility with their partner airline at KLM. That morning there were two flights going out, both one Air France and another KLM, so it was busy at the check-in. Thankfully, the Sky Priority lane worked really well. Staff were absolutely fantastic, and having the priority that morning made a really big difference. The check-in experience itself, by the time I got to the front of the queue, was really nice and automated. You see this more and more around the world nowadays, and I have to say it worked very well, as did that fast-track security just there. And as I then got through to the airside side of the terminal, it was then time to find where I'd be going for the lounge. Frustratingly, as I arrived at Heathrow today, I found out that lounge access wasn't included as part of my ticket. Alas, there is something really cool that we can do here in the meantime here, which is quite unique to Heathrow Terminal 4. So follow along, I'll show you. Now what I've got in mind is something that's known as the View Heathrow. It's a really cool viewing deck. I've only ever done it before at night, so we'll check it out during the day and see exactly what it's like. These business-like fares are undeniably becoming more common. I would say, particularly if you're booking through a travel agent, just be really careful just to make sure that the level of business class that you think you're getting is something that you could be receiving. Typically, it's just the lounge access that airlines seem to drop out, but it is something that I'd be really careful of, particularly if you're having a longer layover. Suddenly to not get that lounge access can be really disappointing. With that all being said, it certainly didn't ruin my morning that day. The View Heathrow is a really cool experience. There was no one else up there. I very much had it to myself and got some fantastic views out over the airfield, even back towards the Concourse. I had a little bit more time than expected in the duty frees. Christmas bear, anyone? In no time at all, however, it was time to head to the gate. I had the Sky Priority line. That made it really nice and quick and easy to jump on, and I was really looking forward to jumping aboard this Airbus A220 to see exactly what the business class experience was going to be like. One thing that I particularly liked about the Airbus A220 is its rather unique seating design. The seats were 2-3 across, so if you were sat in one of the twos, in the business class you get to sit completely alone, almost like first class on a train, for example. As for the rest of the cabin, it was wonderfully modern. I love those extra large windows on the A220, letting in all of that light, and I was sat in the very front row, so I got to enjoy some extra legroom, which was absolutely fantastic as well. Just overhead you had individual air vents and also individual reading lights, which I thought was a nice little touch. Just down to your side then were the main controls for the seat itself. Now with these front seats, this is where the table actually came out of, and we'll look at that in just a moment. This is where you can also recline as well. Slight critique that I did have around these armrests was that they're incredibly hard. This was something that I found back in the economy on this very same plane recently, and is an area that I think Air France could slightly improve in future cabin designs. And finally, let's talk all-important charging. With these front row seats, you get a USB-C and a USB adapter just down in the footwells. If you're sat a row behind, slightly more of a convenient placement on the seat in front. You do then also benefit from these tablet holders as well. So whether you want to trade extra legroom for convenience, I'll leave that up to you. Just for the Pushback, they came round with the freshen up towels. This was a nice little touch before taking to the skies, but it wasn't long before we were pushing back and heading out to the runway at Heathrow. Guys, I should say, if this is your first time watching the channel, I'd absolutely love to have you subscribed. I've got so many videos upcoming from the likes of Air France, KLM, and so many other carriers. So if you hit that subscribe button, YouTube will help you keep fully up to date with all of the developments on the channel. For now, I'm going to turn the music down and we'll take off on our way through to Paris. I must say, the takeoff experience aboard the Airbus A220 is incredibly smooth. Those new engines are wonderfully quiet. It's great to see what's happening with the development of engine technology. So we take to the skies. Let's first start off by talking all things Wi-Fi. Air France offer a range of different packages. What was really good to see, however, was that messaging completely free of charge throughout the duration of the flight. There was then a couple of different options available, whether you wanted a simple surfing package or full streaming options. That was starting to get a little bit expensive for what was such a short flight, but overall a pretty decent Wi-Fi offering from them. And finally, as part of the portal, they had a nice little route map tracking feature so you could see exactly how you're getting on. Of course, on that morning it was just a short hop for us over to Paris. With us now being up in the skies, thoughts were rapidly turning towards the breakfast. I didn't know whether Air France was going to go with something warm or cold. Mostly, in the end, it was cold offerings. It was a poached egg with this sort of crumble addition. A little bit of a strange offering we'll check out on the menu card in a moment. I did, however, really like their branded cutlery. Thought this was a nice little touch. There was then a choice of drinks that came around. I opted for an orange juice. There was then fresh bread, croissants. I must say this croissant was the absolute saviour of the breakfast. It did taste really good indeed. As for that main course just there, well, let's give that a go and see what it's like. Yep, overall, not too bad. Next up, I was on to the yogurt, or the fromage blanc, as the menu card called it out as. Didn't really know what to make of this. It did look pretty plain, so yeah, let's give that one a quick go. Yeah, as you can see from my reaction, not the best. And for those interested in the frontmost of seats, this is how the table worked. Nice, easy deployment, and it worked nicely throughout the duration of the flight. It was also nice having that seat blocked off next to you, so you could pop your empty tray just there, should you need to pop up to use the bathroom, etc. And finally, champagne was also being served, so don't be afraid to ask for that if indeed you are flying with Air France business. Otherwise, the toilet in the front, quite like the colour scheme just here, nothing super special going on, but it was modern and clean throughout the duration of the flight, so that's really what you can ask for. As I returned to my seat, there were some wonderful views out over northern France as we were quickly approaching Paris. This is a really good time for me to mention the comment section. I do love responding to all of the comments that I get in the various different videos, so this is a good opportunity for you to reflect back on your experience of the video, how you found it, and more importantly, what you think of the Air France short-haul business class offering. As for my thoughts, well, I thought it was really very good. First things first, travelling aboard that new Airbus A220 is an absolutely fantastic experience. It's so quiet, so smooth. I was a really big fan of it. If I could travel it every time across Europe, I definitely would. The crew did a wonderful job throughout the flight. The service was efficient and also very pleasant. Top marks to Air France on that front. Perhaps the only area for improvement would be that breakfast. If it was me, I'd sub in a nice Greek yogurt, but fully appreciate the more plain option is built for more continental palates. Really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're looking to fly business class across Europe, don't do so first without checking out my recent review of British Airways' short-haul business class offering. I'll pop that one in the bottom left just now. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is to thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in another one real soon.